Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for coming and joining me in my shop here on the 12th of April. So at the end of the last video I posted, I managed to get some sound to come out of the speaker, which is a big thumbs up. And now I'm going to start changing out these older capacitors. And the one I really want to target right away is this big guy here. So typically a big capacitor like that is, well, it's often on the screen circuit, but it could be doing other things. But it's a big capacitor. It's got a big important job to do. It wouldn't be a big one if it wasn't. So I'm going to change this one. Now that looks like a 0.1 to me. I'm going to change it so I don't care if I wreck it here. Oh, well, that's more than 0.1. That says 1. Wow, okay, I'm really silent now. Well, let's stop and look for this capacitor on the schematic, because I guarantee you there's no 0.1 and there's no 1 microfarad capacitor on the schematic. What? What? Is that you talking? I've got company here with me. So first we'll look over the schematic. Now, I have looked this over so thoroughly. None of the capacitors on here are 0.1s or 1 for that matter. But this is the one that's in the right position in the radio. This matches the big capacitor we were looking at in the radio. 0.01. That's pretty small for a capacitor in this position. And what's it doing? It's connecting between the negative bus and the chassis. So this is the drainer. This one is trying to drain any signals that are floating around in the chassis. Drain them back into this B- and get rid of them. So there is no, as I said, there is no capacitor in here. Oh my gosh, it's raining outside. You really can't go outside, Shadow. But there's another reference here we'll take a look at. So this is very interesting how this is written. It's clear the design engineer wrote this. There you see the point 0.1. There's a 0.1 right there. What are they saying about it? Motorboating and howling. Check that the center shields on the R5 and the T4 sockets. The center shields. What is a center shield on a tube socket? Are solidly grounded to pin 5. Well, I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to worry about it. And, or a filament pin. Oh, okay. So your choice of where you want to connect whatever that is. Also, that the 0.1 microfarad grounding condenser is properly connected. So that's quite a challenge, because I can't find a 0.1 in the radio, can't find a 0.1 on the schematic. Found a 1 in the radio, can't find that on the schematic. But I'm pretty sure we're looking at the same capacitor that they've got shown as a 0.01. So it's referred to basically 3 different sizes: a 1, a 0.1, and a 0.01. On occasional sets, the peak IF alignment found too sharp. Yeah, okay, we won't worry about that. So I think I should just change it with either a 0.1 or a 1 in there. And it's got, what's it got? It's got, what's it got across it here? So, yeah, conceivably it would have line voltage across it. Not much more than that. You would have line voltage across it if you grounded the chassis. You can do that with your hand. There's no resistor in here. Often these are paralleled with a large resistor. Not in this radio. So my choice, 0.01, 0.1, or 1. I'll take a look and see. Okay, so you know, a 1 microfarad capacitor is kind of an expensive capacitor. I have some 0.5s, half this size. I think I'm going to put this in. I think it's going to do the trick. And going to cut the wires here and probably just connect to these wires. Making it easy on myself. And we're going to test this guy right away. Cleveland condenser. Huh? Does that say Cleveland? Cleveland condenser, made in Canada. How do you like that? There's no Cleveland in Canada, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's give this guy a test. A little green there. Looks like the kind of green that comes from some chemical oozing out of something. Not atmospheric type corrosion. Should be a kind of a, this is more bluish. You get the atmospheric corrosion gives you a copper salt that's kind of a more of a greenish color, more of a dusty greenish color. We've all seen it. You know, so this could be copper chloride or some other salt of copper. Give it a slightly different color. Okie dokie. We're set on 50 volts. What will this do? Open right up. 150. Doing pretty good. This capacitor is ranking pretty good. 250 volts. And now it's showing some evidence of leaking there. But as capacitors go, this guy's not in bad shape. A leak in this one, I don't think it would be important at all. The position it's in the radio, and I'll take that back, because the leak, if it's heavy enough and you touch the chassis, ground yourself with a, I've got a polarized plug in here now, but I don't think that guarantees things 100%. You could get a pretty good lift. So now I want to hook it up to these wires, which I conveniently left quite short. Okay, I'm going to install that. Okay, so that guy is done. Now there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 wax capacitors. There's something a little different down here. And the radio didn't seem to hum at all, what little I played it. So I'm going to leave this alone right now. Trying to work around it here. So I think I'm just going to go after all the rest of them. You know, it's just stupid. How about, because it is doing too many at once, you get yourself into trouble. Well, these two are staring right at me. Why don't I do these two, then we'll test the radio and see what we got at that point. Sounds like a plan. So I'm going to take these two capacitors, go to this post. This is the grounded post. So I'm going to do it like this, do it like that, go like so. Where's the hole? There. Okay. This guy down to that terminal. Two terminals very close here. Okay, time for a test. Okay, try to test it like a real radio. Okay, volume down. Tuning in the middle, and I'm going to bring it up slowly. Full volume. .75 volts on it. It's not drawing much current at all, but then it's supposed to be it's a battery operated set, so there it comes. Okay, let's hold it right there. I do hear a hum. Oh yeah, she's vibrating like crazy. Just out of the cabinet, you know, you can't really hear it, but it's humming. So there's a hum. Hey, look at that. Actually sounds like a radio. Not much of a radio. This hum seems to come when I tune down. For sure. Just disappeared. So that hum is an oscillation. There's no hum now. So the oscillation is setting off probably the AVC voltage in here and just quieting the whole radio down. Don't put a hole in the speaker there. So it's humming now. It's definitely some weirdness. And then back out up here again. Well, I think, we just continue changing capacitors, and maybe this will go away. But for now, it's doing okay. This is good. This is good. A few more capacitors to do. How long are those wires going to last? There we are. Well, so I'm going to change this. No. I heard a hum, but the hum was from some kind of oscillation. I'm not going to change this still. Leave it as is. Just feeling the heat in the resistor here. Just a little wee bit of warmth. I'll go after this capacitor next. Yeah, they put them in on long wires and then just kind of twist them down and jam them in. Just wiggled it a bit and it broke right off. Now, I gotta make sure I remember where it came from. I'm gonna get this wrong as much as I don't want to. So I'm gonna put a clip lead right on the terminal this popped off of. And what is it? 200 volts, 0.05 again. 0.05. Capacitor doing? It's only a 200. Well, it's between two terminals on this tube, and that tube is the oddball tube. That's the 1U5. 1U5, there's a 0.05 there. Goes to the chassis. Well, hard to see what's going on down there. And there's that other capacitor on the same tube socket. And that's a point, looks like 006. This one. Okay, so that's on pin number 1, 2, 3. It's between pins 3 and 4 on the 1U5. Between pins 3 and 4 on the 1U5. 1U5. P, RS1U5. Between pins 3 and 4. So, okay, so this is a detector tube. Pin 4 is going to the detector plate. Pin 3 is going to the must be a screen. 3 is a screen. 4 is a plate. Is there a capacitor between the screen and the plate? Here's the plate. A little diode plate. Oh, I don't see any such thing. There's a little capacitor to the chassis. was... there's no... Wait a minute. Wait a second here. What happened here? So 1U5, well, it's got 3 grids. The 1U5's only got 2 grids. Oh, this plate doesn't exist. Oh, yes, it does exist. There's a grid missing on here. How's that happen? 1U5. There's a grid missing. How do you ever expect it to fix these radios when they do stuff like this? I don't know, boy. I should go dig up some of these dead design engineers and complain to them. Well, we'll just change it as it is. It's a 200. I was hoping to put in a 100 volt capacitor, but I can't be sure what the capacitor is doing, and if it's involved with a screen, there's some voltage there. So we won't do that. We'll put in this guy here. Now these two terminals are like side by each here. That is difficult to put a capacitor in there, unless we do exactly what they did. Kind of fold it in like this. Hey, where's this going? It's not going where I thought. What's going on? There's a whole pile of stuff right in here. Let's take a closer look. So this is the one. Where exactly is it going? So I'm going to cut it out, but leave a lot of wire here. So I can really need to know where it's going. I can just attach to it. But well, what is that? Like it shouldn't be going right to the chassis. I don't know where it's going, so we're gonna leave it. I'm gonna hook up to the wire there because I don't know where it's going. Just gonna shorten this up a little bit. Changes my plan for the capacitor. Do that. Wrong button. Okay, got him. Good. We'll try this one next here. Oh, that's him. Out. One more here. Again, they've done the long leads and shove it down thing. So it's between two terminals on the three. This is my special tube. Never pull that tube out again. Don't pull that tube out. Keep telling yourself that. I'm going to trim away the wires here. Trim away the capacitor actually. Leave the wires. What was that? 0.005. 0.005. Eh? Put that in there. So one of the wire leads, this would be really hard to see on the camera, I imagine, is right here. I cut it, but it's not soldered. It was never soldered. Look at, it's just loose on the terminal. So that came out of the factory like this. I didn't cause this. Just pull it out. Sort of pull it out. Thought I could pull it out. It's just there. Yeah, there's no solder on it. Well, maybe I can get this right in the hole that little wire just came out of. I don't think so. Oh yeah. No, I missed it. No. Yeah, there we go. Right through the hole. Perfect. Okay, let me steady that up. Okay, a little solder. So I wonder if this radio had trouble because of that part being loose in here. It'd be the kind of thing that you wrap the radio in it. It either makes sound or it changes its operation. You know, it gets louder, quieter, or whatever. Remember back in the day when the first repair approach to anything was a good wrap on the side of it. Yeah. Had to be a good wrap. So what's this piece of wire hanging around down there? Well, that's a terminal. It's an unconnected terminal right in tight here. Okay. Disaster averted. So latest on the COVID situation here where I live. People are, I don't think they're too sure what to do anymore. The level of confusion has gone up here, unfortunately. And there's numerous ways that you are supposed to get your vaccine, but there's only one way for you. Like, you know, call your doctor or call these special clinics that have been set up, or I don't know what. It's confusing to everybody. Just the kind of stuff you don't want to have confused. Yeah, the level of infection is just increasing. The people directly involved, doctors, nurses, are scared and speaking out. It's a little too late now. I mean, the government here in my province has taken action, but it's just come lately, and I don't know. All I remember is the federal modelers in Canada. When I was listening to them talk, made a statement that you really cannot accurately predict beyond 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You cannot predict what is going to happen. And the reason is things are too dynamic. You don't know what people are going to do. You don't know how bad it's going to get. You just don't know. So 3 weeks. Wow. That's not much to go on, is it? Okay, that's in. I think one more. Didn't I have one more? What happened to it? Well, guess I changed that out. Here, we're leaving that. We're trying the radio again. Volume down. Okay, there we go. Okay, good show. Some noise. I think I have the volume turned down, actually. Doesn't sound too good. The string is loosening up here as we go. Well, that didn't sound very good. Yeah. I think it's still going into oscillations when you close the capacitor. No, there's no way. It's oscillating. Can't hear it, but I can feel it. Still feels like it. Okay, still working exactly the same. What have I got? I did all the capacitors. What am I talking about in my head? What am I talking about in my head? Well, okay. I think from here it's some testing with signals and things like that. We'll start fiddling around with the alignment a little bit. Probably find some more stuff wrong with it. That's probably what's going to happen. Great. Time for a little break here.